Yeah, just say it a little bit, Bob.
They say the tongue is the perfect weapon. All I hang around nowadays is verse perfection.
Peace, what's going down? It's DJ Pain One here with Dip and Dash Visuals, and I'm about to break down the Offshore record that I produced for Slaughterhouse. And what's interesting about this beat in particular is, and it's one of my favorite beats, and I usually hate on my beats, but this beat in particular is one that a lot of people have asked me about because they want to know what sample I use. And I don't know whether to feel insulted or flattered because I didn't use a sample. But clearly I love sampling. I'm one of those producers. I'm never going to stop sampling. So sometimes with certain beats, you know, we try to create a sound that sounds as though it were sampled. It sounds organic. And it's not easy to do. I think on this one I must have done an alright job because people are assuming that it was a sample. So I'm going to talk about why people might think it's a sample, and then I'm going to break down some of the elements that I used to create this record. I think firstly, the reason people think it's a sample is because of the instruments I chose. There are some pretty organic instruments. The main instrument is the string chord progression. It's a pretty simple chord progression. And it's B minor. The key of this track is B minor. And basically that's how the entire track started, was me playing these chords with the string sound, which is a Nexus sound. Believe it or not, it's the XP Dance Orchestra expansion. And the strings are called Old Lo-Fi. And I played first what is this chord? A G major 7th. So that's the main chord. Bass note is a G. And then the second chord, I just dropped the note down to an E. G. Drop the bass note to an E. And I mean, listen to that chord. This is one of my favorite chords. And I just kept going from there. So the entire beat is based off of those two chords because those are what I played first. I think another reason people mistake this for a sample is because of the live guitar, and I forgot that Memory played on this, and he's not here right now to do this to explain what he did in the video, but there are basically two guitar parts, so we kept it pretty simple. There's the main distorted guitar part that he plays right here. So that adds a lot of organic texture, and then there's another track that's all wah, and it's just pieces that come in intermittently, like this in the intro, for example. So in full context is what it sounds like. And then it comes in throughout, just little pieces here and there. That chord. It's really subtle stuff. That's all on the same track. There are only 2 tracks of guitar in this entire song. The third reason I think people believe this to be a sample-based beat is because of the bass line, because the bass line sounds really organic as well. And it sounds like a live bass. It's not. I'll break that down for you in a second. This plugin is very slow when it comes to loading. If you've watched my other videos, you'll know I use this expansion a lot. I'm still running Contact 4, which is outdated, as you know, but I'm using Scarby J bass, and it's a pretty realistic sounding bass VST plugin. sounds like mistakes. So trust me, if I were playing an actual bass, I'd be making a lot more mistakes than I. But this is just all keyboard. So played that, added a lot of movement. The way I go about programming playing my bass is I play many sections, so it's not the same bass line throughout. So I think that helps add a certain dynamic to the beats that makes the beat sound a little more organic overall. So those are the reasons I think people mistake this beat for a sample bass track. I'll break down the other elements, and we'll just go with all of the instrumental elements. We'll look at those separately. So nice little piano roll here. That's more Nexus. Pretty much this entire track is it's 3 tracks of Nexus. I'll break those down. There's a couple other VSTs that I use, but primarily Nexus is what I use. I added additional strings in just as kind of a harmony section. These are really kind of inaudible in the overall mix, but they add an element. So the guitar comes in after that piano. And then on the strings track too, I just kind of added a lot of layers to the strings track. So right here, and then I added piano chords as well to that. What is this? This is the last half measure of the 8-bar. The progression is an 8-measure progression, so this is the last measure of the 8-bar progression here. So I built that up quite a bit to try to make it sound like a sample. You know, I listen to a lot of old music, I sample a lot of records, so I try to emulate how the orchestration on something I would sample would sound. Then I have, intermittently, I have the strings run. And that's just, I want to say, just 16th note triplets. Yeah. So these are just a bunch of 16th note triplets. I used the Philharmonic VST. Played this part first, and then added a little harmony on the second part. I added timpani too underneath everything. That's the Nexus sound. That's the third and last Nexus sound that I use. No, I lied. That's a Philharmonic sound. Nexus has a similar sound actually, but that's a Philharmonic sound. And then there's this sound that I thought is, by itself, it's kind of corny to me, but it sounds cool in this beat. It's this orchestra crash. And this is actually the third and last Nexus track. But by itself, I think it sounds kind of cheesy. It sounds like, 90s techno or something, but which there's nothing wrong with. Overall, it sounds cool. The drums I programmed, except the hi-hat patterns and some of the cymbals. That was Easy Drummer. And when I played these with the keys, I didn't quantize them, so that adds another organic sounding element to this beat. The drums are pretty simple, in my opinion. I think that as far as drums go, they're pretty simple. Really, the only out of the ordinary part of this drum pattern is this little percussive line, just 2 percussive pieces. But there are quite a few layers, so the snare is 3-4 layers. Starts with just the main snare, and then this layer of another drum under it. You can barely hear it. And then this open hi-hat, and then a close hi-hat. So all together, this is what you get. The kick, that is several sounds layered as well. It's this main kick from, I don't know where that's from, and then this acoustic sounding kick layered over it. So I did that because this main kick here has a lot of low end. It's really, it's deep, and then this one has some high end crunch to it. Best of both worlds. Add the easy drummer. And then add a chopped up break for the fill. And then, you know, a couple little accents like this chime. And that's the entire drum section. That's it. I'll play for you as a whole. Another interesting thing about this track, I'm gonna end on this side note. The title of the beat, as I titled the beat, originally was Offshore Account. I was thinking of Taxi Raven when I made the record. I don't know why, but Slaughterhouse released the song under the title Offshore, so that's a cool little aside. Aside from that, as you can see, I didn't use too many elements, but the beat sounds full, so it's amazing what you can do just given the right chord progression and a couple live elements. I had a lot of fun making this track. Hope you enjoyed watching me break it down.
Most of them was bad, that made it bittersweet. Those are growing pains, call it paying dues.
In 2015, we got a lot of new resources coming out for the producers out there. A drum fills collection that's all going to be free. Working on a new drum kit, but those take forever, so that's coming at some point. Undressed Instrumentals 4 dropped. The Do or Die album is coming this summer, early summer. You'll get that, and I got a couple tracks on there. Shout out Do or Die. Aside from that, working on projects with I-20, working on projects with some more projects with Soul. There's a lot going on. Follow me on Twitter at DJ Payne1, Facebook DJ Payne1, Instagram DJ Payne1, Christian Mingle DJ Payne1. I'm on all the social media sites, so hit me up. Stay in tune. If you're a producer, I got a lot of great resources for you. Hit me up on YouTube. Just search for DJ Payne1. My channel will pop up, and whenever anything comes out, you will know if you follow me on any of the social media, because I will tell you. I live on social media. It's a horrible thing to admit to, but that's what I do. Shout out to all the producers. Best of luck in 2015. Make some great beats. If you don't make beats, then support those producers who do. Peace.